This is Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru, Mississauga real estate broker. And in today's video, I'm going to go over 6 awesome questions to ask your lender before you get a mortgage in order to understand the process and get the best deal possible. This video is great for first-time home buyers and buyers in general. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So in today's video, we're going to go over 6 questions I definitely recommend you asking a lender. It's going to give you a lot of information and hopefully get you the best possible outcome possible. Question number 1, how much do you qualify for? I'll get a lot of home buyers call me up all excited to start the process, and they'll say, hey Jeff, we went to our bank and we've been qualified for a mortgage up to $600,000. Let's start the home buying process. And I'll be like, congratulations. And the first question I'm going to ask them is, does that include condo fees? Because lenders, what they do is they look at how much money you make and they calculate the average carrying cost of the home, your debt, and they come up with a ratio and they say, okay, based on that, you can afford a house like this. However, they include condo fees as an expense. So if you qualify for a $600,000 home, but instead you buy a $600,000 condo with $400 a month condo fees, those additional fees are going to eat into the amount of money you can borrow. So if it's a condo, maybe you can only borrow $550,000. So it's important when you talk to your lender that you clarify between freehold and condo so you really get a good idea of what you qualify to buy. Question number 2, have your lender or mortgage person calculate all the costs associated with borrowing money and to give you a monthly payment. I always say if you qualify for $700,000, then have them calculate how much your monthly payment will be based on the rate they're giving you, based on the terms, how much you will have to pay every month on that mortgage. Now tell them to include CMHC and mortgage insurance if you're under 20% and every other fee associated, including life insurance and that. At the end of the day, you want to know your total cost. And I don't like the sales process when you agree to one number and then at the last minute, it's like, oh, and you need this insurance or whatever. So make sure that they go through everything ahead of time and be really clear. You want no surprises after the process has started. Question number 3, have them explain the difference between fixed rate and variable rate, because what you'll find is variable rates are obviously better than fixed rate. However, depending on your situation, you want to know what product is right for you. So it's very important to have them explain it and also have them explain if you do go variable, how you maybe lock it in if rates start to rise. Question number 4, what's the penalty for prepayments? You want to be really clear about what you're able to prepay on a yearly basis, and also what's the penalty if you break your mortgage early. A lot of buyers, they go ahead and maybe 3 years later, they go and buy a new home and they don't realize that it's a substantial cost to break that mortgage. And the problem is they've already bought a house, so they have to go through with it. I mean, this can go into the thousands. So have your mortgage broker go over a couple of scenarios with you and don't accept the answer it's 3 months interest or interest differential. No. Say, after 2 years, if I decide to move, what's the penalty going to be? You need concrete answers. You really need to understand how much that penalty is going to be. And that's how I recommend you do it. Question number 5, ask them how much commission they're making. Seriously. I have to disclose what I get paid in commission. And what I find is it's always slipped in there and they'll talk about basis points and things like that. But flat out ask them, what is the commission? Especially if you're shopping around, because a lot of times mortgage brokers can do things with the commission and buy down points. And that's how you see rates that no one else is able to give. But again, go for quality. I'm not saying to, kill someone on their commission, but have them disclose it. If they're open to disclosing it, then obviously they're straightforward, no games type of person. If they kind of dance around the question, then you got to wonder about a lot of other things going on. So I just like to ask that question for the heck of it. Now, finally, question number 6. You need to ask about the mortgage approval process. Too many buyers out there in the market are working with agents that don't know the value of properties. They're buying homes, waiving their conditions on financing, only to find out after the fact that the bank does not appraise the property at the value that they thought it was. And in that case, the buyer is still committed to buying the property. They're in a little bit of trouble because the bank will not lend them all the money and they either have to come up with that cash additionally, go to friends and family. It's just not a situation you want to get into. So be upfront with your lender, your mortgage person, ask them how this process works and insist that any conditions be fulfilled during your condition on financing. That means if you buy the house on the weekend, come Monday, you call them and say, order that appraisal now so it's done before my conditions are up and we know everything is good and I can waive my condition. That's really important because I don't want to see you get caught just because of something wasn't explained to you properly. So there you have it. There's 6 questions to ask your mortgage person. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.